Are you looking for a faster video? Well, today it's a live stream, and I know you're probably looking for a really nice and tidy, edited down video, but I have ways for you to make it faster. You can click that little gear on the YouTube settings right there on the video and adjust the playback speed, make me sound like a chipmunk, and it'll go a lot faster. You can also look and see if there's timestamps for this project in the description, and if you're on a desktop, you can hover over the time bar at the bottom of the screen and see if it's chunked up into chapters, and then that way you can go directly to the step you're looking for. And lastly, you can also tap on the screen on the right hand side of the video picture or on the left hand side to make the video jump ahead, forward or backward if you're on a mobile device. And you can adjust that amount in your settings so you can have complete control over how much it jumps. So if you are on a desktop, you can use the fast forward or the rewind, and that will make it go faster as well. You can also enable subtitles, and the little CC on the screen will enable closed captioning. That way, if I am a little bit harder to understand with that double playback speed, the subtitles might help you out. All right, well, I know that it's not a nice little edited video, but if you sew with me, we'll get there together and it'll be lots of fun. And now for the live stream. Happy sewing! Hi! Hello, hello! Happy Thursday! It's so weird that it's not Wednesday. It's gonna make my week go by really quickly. How are you? Hi, Shem and Anna. Hi, Shasha. Welcome back. Hey, Delwyn. Hey, Aisha. How's it going? How's it going? We're making the men's summer pants by Wardrobe by Me today. We made the tropical shirt last week, and I sewed them all in one sitting. I won't be doing that to you this week. I'm gonna cut and sew a little bit today and then finish them on Saturday. So they're actually a pretty quick sew. I could very easily sew them all in one sitting, but we're gonna break it up so we can see each other for 2 streams this week. So how are you all? How are you doing? What are you working on? And a big, big thanks for Wardrobe by Me for giving me this project. I was talking to her about something else and I just said, oh yeah, July is coming, I'm making more menswear. I always make menswear in July. And she said, well, hey, do you want to make the summer pants? And so she gave me the project, which is really awesome. And I really, really love that Wardrobe by Me also supports the live stream aspect because it's very unique. So thank them if you ever see them because we love these projects. So yeah, these are the men's summer pants. So let's see here. And let me know if everything sounds and looks okay. You know, when I'm not streaming as often, sometimes things get funky. The microphone's been super funky lately. I've been having so many troubles. And I think it's because of updates, you know. So these come as pants or shorts, and then there's a few pocket options. So here, I'm gonna show you the picture. See that? And so you see that back area there? So you can have a pocket that's pointed or square, and you can have it with or without a flap. And I think it's kind of cool that it goes into the yoke. My husband would like the pocket on the right, so the pointed patch pocket, no flap. So, you just wrote this isn't in navy blue. I know, wasn't that was a struggle. Sorry, Shem. Yeah, it's in this linen, which, oh, let me tell you about this linen. Just because it's not a straight up one. I got the Brussels washer yarn dye linen blend in flax colorway, I think is why it says flax. I got this from Hearts Fabric, and we have a discount at Hearts Fabric. It's 10 so. It's 10% off. I got enough to make 2 pairs because I think I'll make me something out of this too. I really like this stuff because for a linen, it doesn't wrinkle as much. I did iron the selvages of this right here, but it has also a lot of drape. It's very, very lightweight. It's really got, this is a big chunk of fabric, but I'm gonna hold it up. It's got really nice texture because it's a yarn dye. It was very hard to match the thread color, so I highly recommend accepting Hearts fabric to match your thread for you, because I really wish I would have, because when I look at the two fibers or threads that were used to weave this, it's a white, look at that, it's a white and a brown, right? So those are the two colors in this linen blend. And so I thought, easy peasy, right? I just matched one of those. No, it looked really bad. I had a thread that was exactly this, and it just did not look right. It's more grayish, even though this is a very warm brown. So I had trouble. I ended up using a gray, a bit warmer gray, because I was actually pretty desperate. So, hey, Libby. That's what he said too, Shem, about the flaps. I think they look really cute. I feel like that's one of those things, like the coin pocket. You know, he said, next time you make me jeans, will you put the coin pocket in there? Because, you know, he just carries a wallet that doesn't hold coins, so he needs that little coin pocket. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I use a wallet that holds coins. And I think it's the same with the flap. It's really hard to get the wallet in the pocket with the flap. So, hey, Libby. Hey, Sydney. Also, I am, just so you guys know, I am trying contacts out again. I think the last time I did, I don't think it was during a live stream. It was during one of the like open workshops in the guild. These are way, way, way better. So I'm taking a chance this is on my second day, I'm taking a chance streaming with them, because I am a little bit like, hope I can thread the needle. So I already threaded it, so it's gonna be fine. So it's the Brussels washer linen blend, Sydney. But it's a yarn dye, so it's got two different colors in it. Because a lot of the Brussels washer linen is one color. I think it's overdyed, right? This isn't. This isn't overdyed. This is the warp and the weft are two different colors. So it has that very, very classic linen look to it. It looks so bubbly on the camera here, but yeah. Yeah, I know. I feel like I don't wear eye makeup, and so I feel like when you see someone without their glasses on, their eyes look really tiny. And on top of that, I don't even wear eye makeup. So it does look really weird. It's weird to me too. It's weird to me too. All right, so the other fabrics I'm using, I've got my Tricot fusible interfacing out, because me and fusible interfacing right now are at odds with each other. There is two elastic width options, 1.5 and 2 inch, and I'm going to do the 2 inch because I need it for some free range slacks. Unfortunately, I got black, even though this is a lighter color, but it's not opaque, so I think it'll be okay, but white would have been nicer. It also has a draw cord, so I'm going to do the draw cord. And then like always, this is my thing I always forget when I'm sewing is pocket fabric. And I was having trouble finding something I like, so I'm going to use this fabric I bought a long time ago from a Needle Sharp subscription box sale. Like, Needle Sharp is a subscription box service, and they have fabric sales. And I got this because it's really cute in person, but it's pretty washed out. Like, I don't know, and I see it on camera, maybe it would work. And I got this for Cricket because she likes yellow, and I don't really think this would look good on me. And it's a stretch poplin, which is really rare to find as well. I really love the fabric, but I just can't figure out something I think would work on me. You know, maybe it would. Maybe I just need to think about it. But I'm going to use it as the pocket bags. I think it'll be really nice because it's thin, it's crisp. I'm not too worried about the stretch, but there is a lot in this fabric. Like, this is a very stretchy stretch poplin, but it'll be fine for pockets. I could just use the linen, but I don't know. I didn't want to use quilting cotton because that can be kind of grabby on the fabric. So, hi, Sue. You really like wardrobe patterns, especially for menswear. Yeah, I totally agree. They have a really great selection of menswear patterns. I've made a lot of them now. You guys sewing for husband may be jealous. Mine is too afraid he won't like what I make. You know what, Sydney? I think someday you're going to have to just sneaky sneak something, like make him something, take the label off of something else and sew it in there, and then tell him you made it and swap out the label. It would be, you know, the great button-down heist, and I fully support this. Yeah, totally, Shem. A Reynolds tank would be cute. Yeah, but I am like white, Sydney. I am so pale that I feel like when there's not a lot of contrast on me, it just is very washed out. You know what I mean? I totally think you're right, though. I was also thinking like a mellow would be really cute in this. Little button-down top. Yeah, exactly, Shem. All right, so let's set these aside. I'll cut these later. I'll cut these at the machine. And then the tricot, well, we'll do this at the same time. All right, got my pattern instructions out. So just a little tip, this is my favorite way to print out instructions. So I will do multiple pages per page. So I have 2 pages per page. And I do it front and back. And so it makes, you know, like it makes an 18-page thing end up being like 4 or 5 pages, which is kind of nice, you know. And if you're wondering if you have that option on your printer, mine it says multiple pages, and then you have to select, it'll say 1 by 1, 2 by 1, 1 by 2. And what that means is it, you know, 1 row with 2 pages side by side, or is it 2 rows, you know, in 1 column? So that's what it's talking about. So just click that and look at the configuration on the screen. So, and then mine also calculates the number of pages incorrectly. So I always think like, oh, it's not going to do front and back. So I'll say, oh, I'm printing out 20 pages, and it'll say 10, even though I'm printing front and back with 2 pages per page. So it should say like 5, and it usually says the incorrect number. I don't know why. So just trust the process. He always says, see, I think that, you know, the great linen pant heist is in your future, Sydney. So the next time he donates something, take the label out, save it for a future project. I love this idea, honestly. And if he doesn't like it, you don't even have to tell him. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to tell him. He doesn't have to know. All of us will know, and we'll be there to comfort you. Yeah, I'm trying to decide. So I have this linen I got from, as a gift, from Lush Fabrics. Look at this stuff. Look at how pretty this is. Wait, look at that. I'm trying to decide what to do with it. It is like full on. I'm trying to get a good picture of it. It is like full on 100% linen, crisp. It's already been washed. Look how crisp it still is. I love it. And I think I've decided I'm going to make a stocks pattern. I'm going to make this out of it. You see this little dress? It's bias cut. It looks like knit, right? Bias cut dress. It's got a little tie at the back neck. I think that's what I'm going to do. I've never made a stocks pattern, but I was just looking at it today because I do have some fabric she gave me as a sponsorship that I need to sew. And then she included that as a gift, which was way too nice. Hey, Carolyn. Hey, hey, Missy. Thank you for reminding me. You did, Aisha? How do they do in Essex? I have some linen free ranges as well, and I like them, but I'm closer fitting this last pair, so I don't think I want to do that. You made your husband 2 pair of lightweight woven pants with elastic in the hem of the pants and deep pockets. He loves them. One is in the calf woven stripe. Oh, that sounds nice. That sounds really nice. Maybe my first thing ever making for your husband was the wardrobe me boxer shorts. You know what? I think that's actually a good thing to do because, you know, in a way it's low risk, you know, like doing undergarments. Is it though? Is it maybe it's just like a perceived low risk, because I feel like it can be a harder thing to fit. I'm just trying to get my fabric to lay flat. It's so hard to fold a long piece of fabric by yourself. And my husband actually helped me on this one, but I want to make sure I get the grain on, you know? All right. She originally asked for shorts, and then I bought fabric to make pants. And I was like, how tight to shorts are you? And she was like, oh, it's fine, you can do pants. I was like, oh, good, because I was gonna have a lot of extra fabric, because I bought double. Because, you know, it's one of those things when you're online ordering fabric and they're like, oh, you need to buy in whole yards. And Hearts had this policy only during the panini, and now they don't, and I didn't notice that. And so I was like, whole yards only. And then I realized, oh, I didn't even need to do that. Okay. Come on, fabric. Oh yeah, that's so awesome, Aisha, in a way. I mean, like, I think that when you have to fit someone really different than you, it really does just kind of up your skills, right, for fitting. I'm really enjoying that in the pants fitting thing. I'm glad people are patient with me if I don't have their body type, you know. You started, that was your gateway. I love that gateway clothes are undergarments for making things for people. Our gateway garments are undergarments. In Australia, the only place is that it does get a tad itchy chafing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, straight up linen. Mm-hmm. Oh, there you go. Let's see here. Just putting them on green. I kind of want to pull this way though, because I think I can use this this little area here more effectively, you know. I've been looking at pants so much lately that it's weird to see another pair. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, well, that rise doesn't look like it's gonna fit me. Guess what, Saremy? These aren't for you. I'm gonna be making the medium in these. I think my one note I would say about the sizing for men with Wardrobe by Me is they can run on the smaller side. So make sure you measure your whoever's going to be wearing the garment and go by the measurements of the chart, especially Americans. So that would be my feedback. Don't just go by your size. Don't just be like, oh, I don't know my husband's size or my brother or, you know, whatever. If you're sewing for someone else, right? If whether you're a guy or not. Make sure that you are picking the size based on measurements, not on their size, because it may be a little different. Do you find that linen is hard to get to lay on grain? Not 100% linen, but this is the linen blend, and so this is the kind of like trying to get rayon on grain, but not as bad, or a viscose. You know what I mean? Because it's that kind. It has a little bit more drape like that. Look at all this real estate in here. This is just an interfacing, so this is yield right there, and then the back yoke. So I think actually, oh, this is on the straight grain. I wonder if there's any benefit to making the yoke doubled. I sort of want to change the grain line of this so that it's the same as the pants too. You know, like if it was sewn here on the pant, I might do that. However, yeah, actually I think I will. There's nothing wrong with the grain line going this way. I'm just going to do it the same as the pant. like that. My husband does not need more stretch. Like, it's kind of the last thing he needs. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is pretty easy to work with, Shim. It's just that, like, you know, it's a huge piece, and so when I folded it, I made sure to get it, the selvages parallel without any diagonal lines. But, you know, now it's just been sitting here in this big blump of a pile. Or do I put my pant here? That actually is a better use of fabric. That's a better use of fabric because now I can put the other pieces right next to it rather than cutting a whole nother length. That's what I'll do. Let's see here. If we can get this parallel there. All right, let's cut this one out here. Wood viscose or modal or rayon or other natural cooling fiber blends would make good shorts for a construction worker. Ooh. Hi, Barbara. You know, I'm not sure I would recommend any of those for a construction worker. It depends on like what you're talking about. Are we talking like, are they going to get pretty beat up? Are they like, you know, sitting on things outside all the time, you know, like a pile of 2x4s or a stone wall, you know what I mean? Okay, so I'm kind of thinking that what I'm going to do is I'm going to go the medium up here, but I'm going to do the small in the circumference of the thigh and the leg. And for all the pants fitting people out there, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to blend between sizes here. So here's my medium, here's my small. I'll use my hip curve since I'm like using Sharpie right here on the paper. And I'm just going to blend. I'm just going to blend this like. I'm going to start here. I want to blend this sooner actually. Let's see if I can blend this sooner. Another cooling fabric, besides 100% cotton, which would be a little bit more durable, I'm going to do this so I don't accidentally cut that. And I'm going to do this and this. I make this really obvious for me. You probably don't have to do this, but you're also not streaming. You know what I mean, jelly beans? And I think I'll just straight up cut the small thigh like this. But I'm doing the circumference of the medium and the size of the small. The hem difference is quite significant though. Hi, Terry. Making you want to say something week packing up your kitchen starters. Oh, nice, Sydney. I know you said this is the last day. Did I see a fly? It's a fake fly. Fake fly. Yes, beat up. I'm here to keep you on your toes, Shim. I'm just going to look at the grade rule on the inseam. So the medium and the small have a 2-inch difference, so I'm going to use the length of the medium. So when I get down here at the bottom here, we're going to be using this narrower line, but we're going to use the length of the medium. I always just cross off these other lines because, you know, when you're using a rotary knife with scissors, I wonder if you would have this danger as much, but with a rotary knife, you know, it's, you know, you're going kind of quick sometimes. And when you're turning corners, you know, usually when you're using a rotary knife, the piece is on the blade side, right? So if I'm cutting around, especially like right here, because I'm going to come down this side right here, which I already did. And now when I turn the corner, I would want to choose the right one. So let's just choose this smaller one here. How can we keep, you know, are you dead set on a natural fiber, Missy? because there are some like Taslin and other stronger fabrics that have some wicking like moisture properties. I know that's probably contrary to what we would think, because if it's synthetic, it sounds kind of warm. But I think like, or even a supplex could be more durable. And even with a supplex, you could even add some abrasion patches. And Wardrobe by Me, coincidentally, has the cargo shorts, which have an abrasion patch on the butt. I made those last summer. Those shorts would actually be really excellent in I'm trying to think of like a good fabric. Yeah, just some sort of supplex, I think, or a nylon or polyester that has some abrasion resistant and some wicking. All right, there we go. So again, I'm doing the length of the medium, the waist and waist circumference of the medium, and everything below the hip here, I'm doing the small and circumference. All right, let's mark the, can't really tell which notches it is, but that's okay. It's just a patch pocket. We'll just put a little mark here. I'm gonna use my chalk today. Why am I using this? I don't want to use this. Why am I using this? Okay, that's all I'll do. That's all I'll do marking wise. I'm gonna use my pins for the rest. I'm gonna mark this knee notch here, right here. And that's about it. I don't need this piece anymore. I have a new blade and it feels so good. I've been depriving myself of a new blade lately, not for any reason except that I keep forgetting to change it because I'm not cutting a whole garment out. I'm just cutting these little tiny things. And I'm like, oh, don't change a blade for this. I finally was like, why? Why not? You know? Taslin, T-A-S-L-O-N, supplex. Both Taslin I don't think is a brand name, but supplex is. Let me look really quick. And you know, when you're starting off with an undergarment means it will be out of knit mostly. Yeah, that's true. Hi RG. Hi Randa, how's it going? Yeah, ripstop cotton. Oh. Ripstop cotton. You know, there's some of that at that Maker's Fabric. It's stretch. It's Japanese ripstop stretch cotton. Here, I'm just going to do a quick search. I'll show you a couple links of things I'm thinking about. Where are you at? Are you in the United States? Or are you in Canada, Europe? Where are you at, Missy? I'm thinking with a name like Suburban Homestead, Prepping for Survival. You are in the United States or Canada. Let's see here. What's that place called? Let's see here. Durable stretch woven, cotton and blends. Okay, this is my caveat with recommending fabrics from this site. I think they have a really interesting and accurate selection of fabrics from the outdoor industry. I used to work in the outdoor industry. I do think that some of what they get is like the ends of bolts and, you know, it's literally like put in a bag and sent to you. Like it's not, It's not going to be the Etsy experience. You're in Arizona. Okay, perfect. This is perfect for you. This is a place out of Colorado. And let's see what this, here we go. So I think, let's look for breathability. Yes, anything here? Storm fit, stretch woven, nylon spandex. Why is this? This is a Nike fabric from Nike. It's water resistant. We don't want that. You don't want anything really water resistant or waterproof, only because that's going to decrease the breathability. Let's look at the ripstop. Okay, so silicone coated. Oh, Taslan. I spelled Taslan wrong. Taslan. They have some Taslan. Let's check this out. Sorry, guys. Just a second. I'll get back to cutting in a second. I think the photography could be, it could use a little bit of, you know, zhuzhing, you know. This is a water repellent ripstop, but it's suitable for board shorts, jackets, aprons, other clothing. Okay, yeah, I'm not finding what I really want to show you here. Cotton and blends. I can't see the chat either. Just a second. I'm sorry. Teflon finish. Dang it. Breathability. All right, I'm just going to put this link in chat because this is like the breathable cotton blends they have. You just need a yard. If you like camo, these are your folks too. Yeah, that's so true, Shem. It's just how tightly it's woven. Nice, Rhonda. Yours isn't stretched a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I think that's really unique. All right, so that's kind of a brief search. What I would look for something is, I would try to stay away from things that are coated, but you're wanting something called, at the minimum, if you're getting any of these polyesters, nylons, any of these technical fabrics like this, corduroys, any of those things, anytime you're ordering some of these fabrics, please make sure it, at least at the very minimum, has what's called a kiss coat, which means it's just been lightly kissed with a coating. And the reason I say this is, if you've ever seen these fabrics without the coating, you'll know that the edge of the fabric, it is just going to unravel before your eyes. It's one of the worst unraveling fabric. If you've ever dealt with like taffeta in the fabric store that you see, any of those things, it's like that. And it's worse because it's synthetic fabric, so it's very grabby and it's just, ugh, it's awful. So anyway, that's what I would say is look for something that has some breathability, or it has some sort of moisture wicking thing. You might be able to find a cotton blend. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. I think the other places I really like shopping for outdoor fabrics, I would really love to try Discovery Fabrics in Canada, but I haven't yet. And I think that those gals running that place would be excellent to talk to. The only reason I haven't is because I haven't needed anything, and what I needed when I did once was I needed like a 1/4 yard of fleece, and I could only buy 1 yard from them, plus I had to pay shipping from Canada. It was ending up being like $60 for this little tiny piece of fleece I needed, so I didn't do it. But I think that those folks they're very engaged with the sewing community, and that for me is what sells me on them. The other company I really like is The Rain Shed. They used to be in Oregon, and I think they're in Washington now. Again, their site isn't going to be very sophisticated, but their site, I like them a lot better than Rocky Woods when I order fabric from them. And then lastly, the other place you can try is Seattle Fabrics, but I never find much of a selection there, and maybe it's just because of the things I've looked for. So those are what I would start with. If you're looking for something that needs to be durable, going to be used outside, and you need some breathability. So, all right, sidetrack. My first sidetrack of the day is now done if Shem is tallying and keeping track. I don't know. Eliza, how's it going? You've hardly missed anything because I've already gone on a sidetrack. You know. You bought from the rain shed. What'd you think, Aisha? They're not quite what they used to be. Like, why does this look so, I'm trying not to cut this upside down so I can see the lines. I think I'm going to have to. So let's just draw on our new lines. I really loved shopping from the Rain Shed before they sold, and I haven't shopped from them very much since. They would ship literally the same day, if not the next. I would get my order really, really fast. I loved that. And while their site is a little bit outdated, it's very educational. And so even if you're not really, shopping for something right now, if you're just kind of trying to educate yourself, I find their site to be really educational. Yeah, they have a lot. And so I feel like for a long time they were the #1 place that manufacturers were selling their extra fabric. We sold our extra fabric to them. That's how I learned about them. I saw fabric, like after I worked there, I kept seeing fabrics I had worked on in the design room, which was really funny. And the other funny thing about a lot of these sites is that they legally cannot say what the fabric is or the manufacturer. And this is it's a good reason. And it's because like someone like Nike, if they're contracted with the fabric company, they had to get a certification in order to sell their fabrics saying we are going to properly educate our customer on this fabric, and we are going to use it in its intended purpose so that we're putting the fabric in the best light, right? So you can't say, oh, we're going to make this waterproof jacket out of this fabric, but we're not going to seal the seams. And then everyone's going to be mad at the fabric company because their fabric doesn't work when you never sealed the seams, that kind of thing, right? So because the Rain Shed and all these companies, Discovery Fabrics, Seattle Fabrics, Rocky Woods, they don't have those certifications from the fabric vendor, they can't sometimes say it's Gore-Tex. So it'll say G-O asterisk, T-E-X, like they'll kind of change it. So you just be nice to me, Shem. All right. Anywho, I'm just kind of blending my sizes right now. This one's graded at the center front and the side seam, which is interesting. So I'm trying to figure out how I want it best. I think I'm just going to go below the pocket here, like that. So if you're just joining, I'm doing the width of the circumference of the small in the lower leg, the thigh and below, but the circumference of the medium at the top. And the length of the medium too. And I'm tracing the whole thing so I can see it on the back side. That's the other thing I'm doing. All right, so I'm going to do this smaller one, but I'm going to go out to this larger. Let's actually go, we're going to blend it right here. Like that, all right. And then this is my grain line. Now I can kind of see my lines too, which is nice. I love talking outdoor fabrics. We're also in the garment sewing world. For a long time, you really couldn't find good garment fabrics like rayon and, linen, like finding linen, you guys, was so hard for decades. Like just finding a plain old linen, impossible. It was really hard. And so the fact that we don't have to struggle to find linen now, I still am surprised when I go to shop. Like it's still kind of like, oh my God, look at all this linen. So I think one of the last couple of fabrics that is harder to kind of trickle down into the home sewing world is things like outdoor fabrics and a lot of performance knits and things like that. Oh, did you say something up there, Shasha, and I missed it? Let's see. The number of times I've had Sharpie bleed through paper is just stressing. It's high. It's like pretty thick bond. Not sure how it is said. What are you asking about? Or what did you say? I missed it. Yeah, this is like, this is computer printer paper, so I'm not worried. We're going to the bigger one here. Here we go. I couldn't see Sharpie there because it's 2 layers of PDF. Well, for once, Shim, it's not me using the rotary knife that's stressing someone out. Because occasionally I get those, you know. Your use of the rotary knife really stresses me out. Still have all my fingers and toes. I don't cut with my toes, I guess, so. I don't have accidents with the rotary knife. I've had one, and I wasn't cutting at the time. I was reaching across my table and pulling the knife toward me, which was closed. It was closed, by the way. It was face down like this. And as I was reaching really far across the table, this freak thing happened where it caught on something on the table, like a little tiny discrepancy in the surface in the middle, which we never used for cutting. It probably just got bonked by machinery or something, like when we were moving something around. And while it slid to me, I think it slid like this. Wait, how would that, no, when it slid to me, it got caught on this and opened. And I got one of the worst cuts of my life. So bad I wouldn't show anybody because I knew they would be like, they would faint, you know, and it was fine. I didn't need stitches, but it just was, you know, anyway. Did you ask something, Shasha? Do I not have top chat? I have live chat on. I missed something you said, I think. Hi, Malin, how's it going? Good fabric for athletic tops. Yeah, see, I think that's one of the performance knits. Performance knits are one of the other ones that's hard. Chaz, how's it going? You either have to order a swatch and risk the site selling out or risk getting fabric you absolutely cannot use. Ooh, that's a good point. You need left-handed shears. I use Whisk. Is Whisk around anymore? That's who I have. I do have fabric scissors. I have 2 pairs. Let's just look at I'm taking way too long. But I don't feel stressed today. Yeah. Yeah. Do that. Get the sample kit. It's not informative. Like, it's not going to be like, when you open that sample kit, Missy, keep it straight because there's probably a rubber banded bundle of little pieces of fabric with a little printout list, and they're probably in order on that list. So make sure you don't lose track of what's what. I don't know, but I've seen things like that before. You know what I mean? Fair warning. Oh man, this linen is already getting like loosey-goosey. I can already tell. So it's probably gonna be, I'm really glad I went with the smaller size. I'm just gonna put these notches here. I don't really know if I need them or not, but we need this one here for sure. This one's really helpful. All right, we don't need that. Got our front. I've never in my life seen Michael in pants like this, and so I'm actually pretty excited, and I think they'll look really good. Like, don't you think they'll look good with the tropical shirt? Like, he's gonna look like one of those guys, you know, that wears things like, well, you can't even see this fabric, but I think it's gonna be really cute. He's gonna look like he's on vacation. All right, so let me just put my pattern pieces away really quick. You were at a quilting retreat and everyone cut the end. Oh my goodness. Yep. Yeah, and not everyone handled it really well. Exactly. No, that happened in college because in the color theory class, we had to paint all of our swatches. I have to tell you guys, in fashion college, my hardest classes were sketching and color theory. They were by far my hardest classes. Color theory because you had to paint so many paint chips, hoping to get the right ones that you needed. And then you would make these really elaborate boards, like showing value or tint or whatever, like different kinds of ways to show it. And you had to paint your own paint chips. But you also had to cut them all out with an X-Acto knife because rotary blades weren't invented and scissors don't give you a clean cut from top to bottom. So you had to use an X-Acto knife. And yeah, there was a gal who wasn't there one week. And that was what happened to her. I felt for her, man. Ooh. She did what all of us were scared to do. Right, Jim? Reading the paper. We don't get the paper. He's not that guy. You mean like doom scrolling on Twitter? Yeah, that's him. All right, so I'm going to cut the medium of the yoke because I did the medium at the top. I'm actually not sure right now which one's the medium. Because the grade is all the way around. No, it's this one. It's the single dash. Okay, cool, cool. I did see that. I was worried that it wasn't graded much. Okay, there we go. I think these would be really great lounge pants or nice pajama pants, you know, like ones that have a little bit more structure. Because of the yoke and the back pocket, the fact that it has a draw cord. And I'm gonna, I'm just gonna pin these two here so I can finally find them easy. This is the backs. I'm a chronic putter-awayer. You have to suffer through it. I make no apologies for that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Surge teams. Yeah, lounge pants. Exactly, Shem. You're absolutely right. No, I think these will look really nice on him too. But I think about like the chinos I made him. Same, you know, by Wardrobe by Me. They look so good on him. Those aren't pants he wears very often. I'm not sure he's worn them, and he really loves them. He's like, I love these, you know, but it's just not that kind of work environment. He could absolutely wear him to a show, though. I wonder, maybe he's done that. You know, like a trade show when he travels and stuff. There's two notches, but I'm just going to notch this one here, which is the full hem amount. this might be something I would consider interfacing the top edge. I never interface the top edge of my hems, but for something like this, with like very, you know, loosey-goosey linen, it might be a good idea. So we'll put that in the interfacing pile. All right, so we just have these 4 pieces left in our pocket bag. And because of the way I cut the fabric, I think I have this little chunk now to the next to the front pant. Let's get this on grain. The selvage is really cool. It's got this, it's navy blue with an orange stripe down it. Looks good. All right, so we need 1 of each waistband here, so I'm just gonna earmark that for the waistband, and then we need 2 each. There's a pocket facing that stabilizes the pocket opening and clean finishes it, and there's a one on the pocket itself so that it looks nice from the outside. You got your first pattern with the zipper placket and the button waist and the whole 9 yards. Lots of pleats. Is that it's a feature part? Oh, that sounds awesome. I love those kinds of things. All right, let's see here. Get these on grain as well. And again, I'm going to cut the larger size since this area of the pant was all the larger size. Really careful with my rotary blade that I don't touch my weight. So that's my problem. I always hit my pattern weights with my blade. It's so annoying. I can't believe I can see right now without glasses on. That's amazing. Like I like wearing glasses, but oh, man, I realized at the end of the day yesterday that I felt like more energetic and light, and it was because nothing was pressing on the sides of my head all day. That really bugs me. All right. I'm going to keep these pattern pieces with their pieces since they're so similar, and then these also get interfacing. So we'll set that there. And now we just have the waistband here. That was bold, that I just cut off any reference to the grain line. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut both of them out at the same time, and then I'll trim one down and then put the notches on. I think that this would be a really great piece to fuse first before you cut out, you know? But I'm going to do this because I got this piece of fabric on grain with my table, and so I'm just going to leave it like this for now so that I don't monkey around with it, since I trimmed off the only reference to the grain line. So the sewing today, I'm going to basically assemble the front, assemble the back. I'm going to see where we're at that point, because the next, I think what you do is, I can't remember you do the fly after you do the side seam, right? And that's what it is. Otherwise, I would have done the fly. So my normal order of operations when I do pants is I assemble the entire back. So yoke, pocket, back rise. So you have your whole back is done. I assemble the whole front. And then I put them together at the inseam and side seam and do the waistband. This instructions does it a little differently, and I'm going to stick to the order of the instructions today and do the back pockets yoke, the front pockets, and then the next thing would be to do the side seams and the inseam and then the rise. So I might do, maybe I would do the inseams and the out seam, and then I'll leave the fly and the waistband all on one stream. I'm not sure, we'll see. Oh yeah. Yeah, my husband wears the heck out of those cargo shorts. He wears those. He wears them a few times a week. I should make him more. I can tell the grain is kind of funky here. I'm just gonna do the center here. This is I'm pretty sure a fold line notch. I don't really need that. How big is this though? I have 2-inch elastic. Ooh. This isn't gonna be wide enough for my elastic. Unless I do it how I do the 5 out of 4, which I could do. I think I could do. See how this, do you see this bend in this? That's the grain line. We're gonna force it a little bit. I'm gonna trim it off down there. I'm gonna mark it here, and mark it here. Let's get this, and then we're gonna do interfacing for that piece. Yeah. Do you mean, what does denier mean? Denier is the size of the threads that are used to weave the fabric, I'm pretty sure. Come on, Terry, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Because there's, 500 denier cordura, 100, 200, 300, 400. I've seen higher than that, but most commonly 500 is the biggest you'll find for sale. I'm pretty sure though that is the diameter of the fiber that's used to weave the fabric. All right, so this one has, I'm just gonna recut this piece. It's too funky. I don't want to because of the, in fact, you know what? I'm just gonna maybe cut them both. I wanna cut them on this grain line, like this. Let's see how good this one is. This one looked better. I'm just looking at how the fabric's laying because of the linen. This one's okay. The other one looks just a little bit funny. It's right here. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe it's just an optical illusion right there. Fabric is just relaxing, and it's not like it relaxes symmetrically, Yeah, exactly, Aisha. That's what I meant. Not the width, but the diameter. Yeah, exactly, Barbara. Because it was like if it's lighter weight or not, right? See, this one curves. I'm going to be picky about this because the elastic is going to fill up the entire waistband. So my plan will be, I have to look at the directions on how it's supposed to be sewn on here, but what I would do is I would sew the sides of my waistband together put my elastic in there, fold it over, and then treat this as one and overlock it to the pant. So it has to want to fold nicely. So I've said this repeatedly, like my weakness in cutting long, narrow pieces, I just don't like cutting them. It's not, there's nothing wrong with the pattern. It's like, they're the hardest things to cut in my opinion is long, narrow things. I feel like I can keep this more on grain if I do it on the cross grain. I'm looking at the weave of the fabric because it's very obvious on this. This is a very common question I get asked is how do you cut rayon, viscose, any of these really whooshy fabrics, how do you keep them on grain? How do you keep your pieces looking identical from left to right, like if you're cutting 2 layers? And it is pretty hard. And I'm not going to say my pieces are always perfect, that's for sure. But I do things where I'm looking at the weave of the fabric, and on all those you can see the weave of the fabric. Rayon would be the hardest. And I would, you know, block it onto the table and make sure. All right, so we're going to do that interfacing, and now we are ready to cut out our pocket linings and our interfacing. Oh, you were suggesting a fabric for the construction worker, yeah. The Dark Ages. All right. I love this fabric. I don't know. I just don't see me wearing this. It's so pale and washed out for me, but I love it, you know? Maybe I just use all of it for pocket fabric, you know? All right, we still have interfacing. I'm going to do these notches since the facings are so similar to each other. I can see the angle on this one though, so that's the pocket opening. We'll leave this pattern piece with it. It might make things easier. All right, so now let's just cut our interfacing. I'm going to try and cut all of it with my tricot rule because because I don't trust anything else right now. But this tricot roll looks a little narrow for the waistband. So we're gonna, ooh. I think I need it to be like this. Oh, I need 2. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. That takes the struggle off of trying to figure out if I needed a left or a right. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, a coordinating fabric. Yeah, and when I showed it to Cricket, she was like, that's nice. So I was like, okay, I'm not making anything. This isn't quite wide enough for my pieces that I really want it to be wide enough. You know? This right here is the bad waistband. Why does this look so narrow to me now? In my head, I've already bought the wider roll, I guess. Maybe I'll just use fabric rather than a fusible. I'll use the fusible here, and then I'll use the pocket lining. I'm gonna fuse my pocket hems only because you know how when you have linen pockets, they kind of look stretched out and floppy. I'm gonna see if this will prevent it. My tea house dress is an example of that. Line it up on the notch. I will save those little pieces though. These are really helpful. And yeah. Okay, you're ready. Hot ruler. You're currently opening my new hot ruler for a couple. What does that mean? I don't understand that whole sentence, Jazz. Is that like a gadget? You're opening your new hot ruler. I want to know more. We need to know about all gadgets since, you know, Nancy would, you know, she'll buy it and let us know how it works. This is just interfacing. It's just cute interfacing. I have lots of fusible. I just don't trust it right now. It just looks like cellulite when I use it, so I'm not using it. And we'll just treat it as one. Hot hemmer ruler? What is that? If it's wet, I am thinking it's a ruler you can iron on. Oh! Okay, okay, cool. I see. That'll be fun. I used to always have a ruler I could iron on, and then I think it finally broke and I just never replaced it, and I just you just used yours 5 minutes ago. Oh, that's awesome. I feel like in the sewing world, there are a lot of personal choices that reflect like the type of person the sewist is, right? And one of them is, you know, like, do you pin or not, right? Like, And all these choices they're just choices, right? They're just like different ways to do things. But they can definitely spark, you know, heated discussions between people. And it's really interesting to me, you know, like what kinds of gadgets you use, like what camp it puts you in. When for me, I'm just like, whatever it takes. You know, like do whatever you want. I don't care. And I think like my use of tools has changed over the years. I didn't hardly use anything other than really, really basic stuff until I started the live stream. Ah, yeah, Marlon, I think I've heard that. Yeah, right, Suzanne? Exactly. I know what you mean. Just checking my grain. There's some wrinkles in the this fabric here. So I like using fabric to cut interfacing pieces or identical pieces. However, this little pattern piece is definitely like, you know, it wants to get all whooshy on me. So we're just gonna lay it on here, use it, and it just does not look symmetrical. Even this one I cut, it's so funny. If I wanted to be really precise, I would have done this a little differently. I won't hide that. Just trim it down a little bit. Okay. All right, everything's interfaced. We can go to the serger, and I'm going to go to the iron and put this iron down interfacing, and then we're going to go to the sewing machine. So let's do it. Get these pieces in the bin. To warm my iron up again. Putting all my pieces together. And let me get the fronts out. We'll iron on the fly right now. Put my bin over here. Move my computer while it warms up. Okay. Make sure it looks a little straight when I do it. I don't think my interfacing is very straight. So let's put the straight edge against the notches, the straighter edge. There's always little ways you can make it be what you want, right? There's other little tools at play. I actually never iron my iron facing like this. I don't know why I'm doing this like this. I usually go like this. I do it from the right side. Oh, look at that. Now we know the right side. There's some little threads coming out that side. Like this. And like this. Wait. Oh, yeah, that's right. Why did that just look weird to me? That's funny. I thought I had 2 lefts or 2 rights or something. Make sure your pant isn't like all kind of cattywampus because, you know, we're going to have to fold this back. So make sure this is all relaxed right here before you do this. All right. Let's sew. Oh, let me grab my water. I forgot the mouse. I was so prepared, except I wasn't. I had to guess where the camera is. All right. This is making me so nervous lately. I'm trying to get the camera to, you know, like that. I keep meaning, I have this idea to change out one of my cameras so that it is on the wall, mounted to my left, and then it would look straight at the machine. A lot of people film their sewing from the side. I'm not a huge fan of that angle, but I do think looking at it more correctly from my line of sight would be really helpful for people. I've had people complain about my camera angles. Hey Taya, how's it going? Is there a way to finish that fly front without a serge or a zigzag stitch? Yeah, you could face it, bind it, hem it. It's just how much bulk you want to add, you know? Yeah, Hong Kong, which would be binding. In this case, Chaz, because it's a fake fly, you could probably figure out a way to sew this so that you could do this right sides together, sew it along this edge, turn it, and then do your center front fly, all the prep, you know what I mean? Because when you do that, when you sew it, let's see, so basically then what it would be like is this little edge, if this were finished, like if we're looking at the pant on the inside and it was all done sewing, it would be, you know, this little seam would be turned back right here to the world, right? You would see a stitching, like curved stitching line right here with indicating the fly. But on the inside, what would be happening is this seam allowance would be turned this way because you would have sewn the 2 flies right sides together, and that seam allowance would be in here in this fake fly. But you could, when you go to top stitch down do that curve, that would solidify this little edge to the garment and it would stabilize it. And I don't think anyone's going to peek inside here to see your seam allowance, you know? So I do think you could do that. That would probably be the least bulky way to do it, and the least number of machines. But yeah, you could, because it's a fake fly, you have a lot of options. So, all right, I wrote down that I want to do this in the order it said. So, all right, so we're gonna do the front pockets. Maybe I'll get the instructions out to make sure I'm doing it. I wrote a cheat sheet here, but I wrote it like, this is how I write my cheat sheets. And then I just have a magnet on my machine, like this. Doop. And I just put it on there. I don't do them for all projects. My whole setup is really, really good, but lately there's something about it making it feel really teetery, and it's feeling like it's held together with, you know, duct tape and bubble gum, but it's not, and I don't know why it feels, there must be something like out of balance, because I keep forgetting to check it because I never think about it when I'm not streaming. Anyway, I write my little cheat sheet, but it's usually like pockets front and back, you know, and I just want to know. I think you do the front first and then the back. Yeah, here we go. Oh my God, I can read these. This is so exciting. Okay. Serge the edges of the pocket facing. So I tend to primarily favor sewing things together, not using my serger. And I could do that on these. I was gonna French seam the pants together. I have set up my serger, and it was mainly for the fly, to be honest. And one of the things you can do with putting these facings on is serge it looks like you serge the straight edges of the pocket facings here. So the long, straight, unnotched edges, you can serge those. But I think what I'll do is hem mine to the, I'm going to turn it under and top stitch it. So I'm not going to use a serger, just as something different if you don't have a serger. All right, so we have a left and a right, and the narrower one goes, I'm pretty sure, the right side of the pocket up and the wrong side of the pocket, yep. I'm trying to determine the small pocket facing. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Let me make sure I got this right here. Where's that little, I gave myself one notch, didn't I, over here? Didn't I? Oh yeah, there's the one with the angle. Okay, so the small one is the pocket opening. I see the little angle now. That's what I wanted to know. Okay, small one, pocket opening. All right. And then the big one is the facing, like the palm of your hand. That's the way I look at that. This one is the palm of your hand. Which Juki cover stitch do I have? You sold your brother today because you didn't really like it. Oh, nice. Congrats. I have the 1500. Where'd that little pocket go? Here it is. It's the MCS 1500, Mullen. Someone, I think it was Aisha and someone else, they both got new cover stitches recently. You might ask them too. Because I think one of theirs is nicer than mine. I don't know what your budget is. I can't remember the price of mine. I feel like one was 1,000 and one was 750, but is that wrong? Like I could be way off on that. All right, I'm going to fold my pocket facing here. This is why I made sure I had the straighter edge of my inner facing lined up to the notches so that when I did the fold line, I don't get any weird, you know, little whoop-de-doos there. And then I'm going to double check it like this and see how straight it is. This one doesn't look. Yeah, this one's a little bit different. Oh, I didn't really fold it on the notch. That's why. Like that. There we go. So we won't overlock this edge either. So we could iron this under to hem it. But I could overlock this little edge at the top and just top stitch down the whole pocket. This. So I'm going to do the same thing with these pocket facings here. Let's just iron these, make them nice and flat because of the linen, because of the wrinkles in my inner facing here, like this. And then I'm just going to hem under the edge of this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the straight edge that we were supposed to serge. I want a few pins here. Ooh, I'm going to use these weird pins I never use. They have like two. Just to stabilize it a little bit while I turn this under, because you know how sometimes it'll push this extra layer since it's not fused. It wants to not stay lined up to the cut edge. You could also stitch it first and make sure, you know, that's getting way too hot. You know, like stitch around the perimeter edges if you're using fabric instead of a fusible interfacing and you want to treat them all as one layer. You can just stitch it to the piece. That's okay. Instead of instead of gluing it, you're just putting a stay stitch around the edge. But when you fold it like this, what happens is the fabric underneath this layer, see how much it's sticking out like that? That's totally normal. It needs to be smaller, but it's not. These pins this is the first time these pins have been useful. It's kind of perfect for this. They're perfect for like an open weave because they're really a fine pin and they get bent really easily, and they're holding the two layers kind of nicely. Who knew? I've been waiting to see what the use of these were. Now we know. That's what happens right there. You see that? The points get pushed together like that when I use these, so I've just stopped using them. But today, they're getting their day to shine. Sorry I can't see chat. I'm almost done. And we'll put these on the pockets. I was going to turn my phone on, but I forgot. All right. Oh, you guys have been chatty. Oh, yeah, it was Aisha that got the one above mine. $1,800. Oh. No, remember I cut the other stuff. Oh yeah, that it is Rachel. Rachel that did that. I don't know, Taya. I honestly don't know what the double prong pins were for. I just kind of did this whole thing last year, where I was just like, I'm sick of the way the pins are acting nowadays. I'm going to figure out what I like and what I don't like. You know what I mean? So I just kind of went on this pin rampage. And I bought a lot of pins. Okay, so I'm going to do this to the wrong side of the pocket so that the nice side shows to the inside of the pant, which is just a preference. So basically, well, oh no, you guys, I unthreaded my needle. All right. Is this gonna happen? So I'm gonna talk about the pocket as if the wrong side of the fabric is the right side, because that is how you talk about the pattern piece. And it's just a preference if you put the fabric facing to the inside of the pocket, like the print. It's this thread, I'm telling you, is the tiniest thread. Oh my God, I didn't get it. All right, well, the stream might be over. Pin rampage, yeah, I know. I saw them and I was like, well, these are fun. Obviously 2 is not better than 1, though. That's what I decided, you know? I had so much trouble threading this particular thread in my needle yesterday. Use fork pin. Yeah, see, that's what I was wondering. I was thinking it might be for quilting. Lining up seams and thin enough to sew over. Oh, well, there we go. The WayWax site doesn't really give a whole lot of explanation for like the purpose of certain things. This is not my eyesight. I'm telling you, it's this thread. There's something about this particular one. I mean, it might be a little bit my eyesight. Sorry. The struggle, man. I've been wondering if I put my needle in. No, the groove goes. So there's the groove of your needle is supposed to help you thread it. It acts as like a guide, right? I don't think this is gonna help, but I'm gonna try my glasses. You're a pin freak? That's funny. Oh yeah, this won't help at all. I don't think this will help. This thread is finer than what I usually use, and I'm using a size 14 needle, which is also finer than what I usually use. So the eye is really small. And the thread is very, I don't know why, it just doesn't like, it's not very stiff. I almost swapped it out, but I couldn't find a color that worked. Like it's in the eye, but it won't go through. Maybe it's this needle. Woman stops stream because she can't thread her needle. Like it just won't go through. Oh, I got it. Okay, I got it. Oh my God. I don't think my glasses helped at all. I can see better without them now. All right. So yeah, so this is the wrong side of my print, right? Here's the right side of my print. Yeah, well, I do this really dumb thing. Like when we talk about bad habits, I think I've admitted my bad habit. I think I went in a whole thing about it recently. My whole bad habit with threading is that I wrap the thread around my fingers when I do it. And so then I'll get it into the needle and then I'll accidentally unthread it right away when pulling my fingers out of it. And it's just one of those weird bad habits I have never been able to break myself of. All right, so instead of overlocking this pocket facing here, we're just top stitching it down to it. It's not a fine thread. There's something about this particular thread that it's just, because I think it's text 27, not 40. It doesn't actually say. I usually use text 40 when I sew, which is admittedly a little heavier than most people use, but it's just what I have. And I used to always use big needles, you know. For some reason, this particular, it's probably the color or something. I don't know. There's a lot of inconsistencies with stuff like this. Like when we used to order it, we were just like, ugh, we hated like a particular color. Same company, same content, same everything, and it would just act differently. A manual needle threader? What's a man? I thought I was the manual part. Am I not the manual part? Oh, man. Okay. Line it up. We're definitely going to make sure it doesn't get unthreaded, though. I better be vigilant, you know? Oh, I was going to mention that too, Malin, that 1800 could be identical to one of ours. And they just name it that because of, yeah, where it's sold. It might be a way to keep track of where it came from, so it's like an indicator or something. Who knows? What do you want your cover stitch to do? Like, what's the primary things you're going to be using your cover stitch for? Oh yeah, that would have made it too thick, I think. But wax is great, especially hand sewing. All right, so we have our pockets. All right. So this is this one here, and we're gonna sew this right sides together. Three-eighths of an inch seam allowance throughout. You know what that look was for, don't you? Yeah, I think I am not going to be able to, oh wait. How is this, how do I finish this pocket bottom? Did I just go too far down? Oh, I did go too far down. Oh, okay, my bad. Okay, so the slant ends about right here. So, yeah, that was my bad. See, good thing I'm making mistakes for you, right? Elena! How's it going, Elena? How are you? Hemming, knits, top stitching neckbands. Okay. It's very subtle right there. So we're gonna, I'm gonna give myself a little bit of a notch right there. Yeah, I don't think I can do French seams with 3/8 inch seam allowance. That's what that look was for. I'm just going to mark that spot. It is very subtle with this loosey-goosey linen. I'm going to do this one right sides together, and then I'm going to take it to the iron it out, and then top stitch that edge, and then I'm going to do the bottom. Just in case you want to get ahead of me. Where's the angle in? Where's it in? There it is, right there. Okay. All right, let's go to the iron again. It's been okay. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Dang, it's been a rough start to your summer. Sorry, Elena. I hope the trip to Michigan will be fun. All right, then I'm gonna fold it back, just like this. These are gonna look nice. Once you start sewing this linen, it really has some stability to it, you know? All right, I'm gonna clip this edge right here where I stopped sewing right here. I'm just gonna clip it so that it can be face out, the seam allowance right there. So when I turn it, I can catch that seam allowance like that. Looking for my bigger scissors, but I don't see them. Oh, they're over there, okay. So I'm just clipping to the bottom of that right there. I'm doing this in such an all over way, sorry. Yeah, I'll say. Is this a vacation, I hope? Maybe it's associated with the bad news. All right, I'm gonna edge stitch. And I'm gonna start my edge stitch in the seam allowance. Like this. So then there's my pocket opening right now. And let's do this one here. Oh, you hate that? Oh. You know, someone was just saying that they have Liberty of London right now, and I'm kind of curious, you know? All right, so let's finish the bottom of this pocket edge. So I'm going to put it right sides together. Remember what I was saying earlier about what I'm considering right side, and that's the inside of the pocket, the one that the hand's going to go to. Grab my scissors here. I'm going to trim it down. So I'm just kind of doing a quick and dirty, oh, can you please cut a French seam right here, just to kind of enclose this edge here. So then I'll turn it like this. And then ideally, you know, you're gonna iron it, right? But oh wait, did I do this wrong? Wait. Oh yeah, I kind of did. No, not necessarily. No, that's right. All right, and so now I'm putting it the other way and finishing it. I would usually iron this too, but it's the pocket. I'll cheat a little bit. I don't mind. All right, and then now, this is one way to do it. I did do it kind of backwards, to be honest. That isn't how I usually do this. I should have done it wrong sides together. Even I get confused when I'm trying to keep this fabric looking like this on the inside of the pant, you know. I'll do the other one correctly, how I would recommend you do it. All right, and so then here is the finished pocket, right? Like this. There's the pocket facing, the world's gonna see, just like that. And it looks nice. And then our side seam is lining up because we clipped it right there. That'll make a big difference. So on this one, put it wrong sides together this time. When I said right sides together, I was like, that's weird. I never do this right sides together, but it's probably just this whole pocket lining thing that always confuses me. All right, I'm going to trim it. This one has a little bit of these little tails. My scissors are really dull right now, so that's why I'm trimming that. And then I turn it. And then this, when I stitch this, this is how it'll lay in the pant. And so it's much flatter. In fact, I think I'll probably fix the other one off camera. I'll just fix it. Yep. Yeah, it's the Brussels washer linen, and it's yarn dyed, so it's not over dyed. So it looks a lot like a classic flax colored linen. It's got that like texture. It's good. All right, and see now, see how that's much flatter, how it's gonna hang in the pant like that? See, and there's my pocket opening, right? And see that is so much flatter. That's what I want. We're taking this out. I'll do it off camera though. Instead of this, all right, let's put the back pockets on and the yoke. That's the waistband. Here is the yoke. Oh, you did, Elena? Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I would love to support Joann's because they do provide a really important, like, it is nice to have that resource, but they just really don't sell much I'd use, you know, besides like tools and things like that. All right, so I'm gonna hem my pocket from the top so that I know I can get it nice and symmetrical. And I'm lining up my folded edge to align on my my throat plate. Just like that. I can tell that it's pushing the linen like this along that edge. All right, and so now I'm gonna just line up this pocket to this one and make sure I start and stay at the same width. Like this. I'm gonna lift up my presser foot a few times now since it did that. And I'm just kind of fluffing up the fabric and pushing it toward it so that it's not pushing, it's because it's, otherwise it's pushing it like this, right, toward me. And I don't want that. All right. Let's put our pockets on and let's see if I find any of those weird weaving slubs like I did on the fronts. Because that'll tell me what the right side and the wrong side is. I don't see any on these. No quails. Although he is huge, like, into birds. He's the reason I know anything about birds, to be really honest. Like, I talk like I know anything, and it's just really because I've been with him for so long. I feel like I always see the new one, though. I'm like, oh, there's something new at the feeder. And I think he always comes over going, it's probably something new. And it usually is. Like, I'm usually pretty good at going, no, we haven't seen that bird before. I'm just pulling that down a little bit. So one of the strategies I could have done, if I hadn't made the bottom the smaller size, what I could have done is kind of been sneaky about my seam allowance, done like a wider seam allowance to get it to be a smaller size, and then I could have done my French seams that I want to do. Now, I'm kind of wondering, what I could do, don't you dare come unthreaded, is pin these together and try them on Michael, right? And see, like, okay, if these can get smaller, I could still do my French seams. But I'm wondering if I really want to take the risk of going smaller. And I just don't think 3/8 will be enough for French seams. I told myself too, like, you should probably draw these in right now so you do not forget when you get to stream day. And I still did when I was taping it. Oh man, I just went one stitch past right there. Let's pull those threads out. This thread really blends in nicely. That's the good news. Oh, really, Aisha? Well, was the sale good? I just got mine from there too. I'm not going to worry about a back tack right in the middle since it's blending in so good. But usually I don't like back tacks right in the middle of a pocket. Sometimes I'll even start over. I get kind of funny about that. Because of this pointed pocket, you might want to just make sure that you're not stretching out the diagonal there if you're using like a loose fabric like I am. Because, you know, those little angles there can make it a little stretchy. You could interface them or pre-iron them to kind of ensure that you don't have that happen. All right, I always fold down the top edge there. So across the top and then go down. There we go. What is this? Oh, it's a little thread from the linen. Oh no, it's my bobbin thread from the hem. Gosh, it really does blend in. I really didn't think this was gonna blend in. I was a little nervous using gray, but I just couldn't find anything, you know? Oh, okay. Yeah, I ended up buying a whole bolt. So I've seen on Amazon, you can buy like 100 yards of muslin, and trust me, I could really use that. But, you know, it was still like $350, but the price was really good. Because it was a 45-inch wide, I think. Just making sure my pockets are the same. Oops. Yeah, that's smart, Elaine. That's what I used to always use, that 40% off one. So like, oh, she must know what she's doing. She's buying a whole bolt of muslin. All right, here we go. Start upside down. That tricot really added a lot of sturdiness to the hem. It might have been like too stiff if I would have used it for a collar, you know. I didn't get that top the same width as the other one, but I don't think it's going to be noticeable. Right, Shem? They always give, don't they always give that coupon during sales? So then there's really nothing left for you to use it on? Pretty sure that's the strategy. It's funny because I was kind of, you know, bemoaning the use of muslin yesterday. And I had to tell myself, I'm like, okay, well, if you didn't use it for this right now, which was, it was completely purchased for this, for what I was doing. So I was doing prototypes for the pants thing. And I was just thinking, oh my gosh, how much muslin have I used for this? And then I was like, all right, well, you bought it for this. So if you didn't use it for this, what would it be here for? It'd be doing nothing. You'd be like not using it then. This pocket does not seem like I did a good job placing it. I don't think anyone would dispute that I didn't place this very good. Why is that one so high? Okay, I'm taking that out. Oh, this might be the death of me taking these stitches out. But yeah, I can't do that. That's not okay. It got a little off at the bottom. And then when it got to the top, it was too high up. So we're just going to take off one leg of this pocket and down into a little bit of the bottom and get it back on track. It can tell because the pocket top right here, this little thing right here, is kind of gaping out a little bit. So I knew I didn't get it quite right. No, but when they give those 40%, do they not do the 40% off coupon anymore? Because that would have been a good, that's what I used to always do. Like Elena, I just like find an unopened bolt. All right, get rid of these threads so I don't immortalize them. When I walked out yesterday morning, I took the dogs first thing in the morning. Like I woke up, it was like 6:30, took them out in my pajamas, walked the driveway. There was a fox, and it's funny, I don't think of fox as being a daytime creature, but they're not nocturnal 100%. Like I see them during the day all the time. Not all the time, but you know, I see them during the day very often. Like I know they're not nocturnal, but it was just sitting there on the other side of the creek from our driveway. Just kind of like just standing there, like thinking about things. It was completely unaware of us. The dogs were completely unaware of it. And it wasn't very far away from us. It was so quiet and like light on its foot, you know? It was really cool. I usually see them when I come down, like I go out of our driveway, turn left onto our street, which is a dirt road, and go to the main street, which we're only 2 houses in from, and they're usually hunting in the little field right there. I see them most often in the morning over their feet hunting. All right, so I'm just gonna pull this down a little bit, like that. Right, Elena? We need some insider knowledge. I think that I think that's about right, Shim. I think 350 is a very, you can find 350 a yard for one that's not on sale if you're buying a lot. You can find it cheaper if you want it narrower. And what I have found is that that can be very tempting. And right now, what I have is 36 inches wide. And they didn't have the 44-inch wide. That's why I got it. But per inch, 44 inches wide is usually better. The 36 inches wide, while it is like a bit less than, like it's a chunk less, if you calculated the per square inch of it, the 44-inch wide is still better. Oh, really, Mullen? Oh. You're like, I'm not even in America. You guys need to get it together. This exists already. Oh yeah, I'm making them look hard to sew, Sydney, but they're not. You know, I have new contacts in. All right, so I got my yoke here. But I'm gonna have to overlock it, which I'm kind of bummed about, to be honest. I really like bigger seam allowances. All right. Let me look at, oh, maybe I can see on here. Yeah, okay, I'm just making sure. Yeah. Oh, do they, Shem? Yeah, well, these are men's. Are you thinking about for your husband? Because he really wants some linen pants, right? Yeah, and they're a fully elastic waist. They're a loose fit. There's lots of pictures of different guys wearing them. So yeah, I think it's totally doable. I think it's a good project. And like I said, just steal a label out of another pair of pants. Oops. I threaded this yesterday and I didn't pull it through. Wow. Well, now the stream might be over. The test with the contact lenses is that if I can't do normal things, they're just a no-go, you know. This one has a needle threader, but I find it to be kind of okay. Let's try it. All right, so if I do this one here, oh, well, that worked beautifully. Okay. Okay, let's try this one. Wow. I feel like I just sold one of these machines. Look at that. Both of my needles were just threaded. It's like magic. Okay. All right. I'm so pleased that that worked. The needle threader. So if you were doing the pocket with the flap, you would have put your flap right here in the yoke, and it would have been included in the seam. I had to shorten the pants a good 8. Yeah, I was kind of surprised there was a 2-inch grade in the length. But, you know, I think that it's not surprising considering where Wardrobe by Me Patterns is. I think people are much taller there. So, oh yeah, I love the, I'll let you make me these. If you wanted, like, and that, I feel like that kind of a sentence, it really says a lot about how they feel about you sewing for them in general, because they don't want you to. And so that's why they're like, I'll let you do this. And you're like, oh, I know. Hey, Hannah, I know. I was just saying that. I haven't seen it yet, but I'd like to. All right, so we have our backs done, and then we have our fronts with the pockets. And so the next step is the side seam. So we'll do the side seam, and then it would be the inseam, and then we do the rise. And so I'll do the side seam now. Let's top stitch this pocket down though. Oh, I was gonna fix this pocket first, which I won't be able to do. I'll do just one side seam then. How's that? Which one is this? This is this one. All right. Okay. Here's the front with the pocket. I'm just gonna make sure these are laying nice and flat everywhere. And I'm gonna stitch the pocket down to the edges here. Usually I would have done that right after I finished sewing the pocket. This is gonna be tricky. I'm gonna catch that. That'll be fine. Yeah. All right. If you didn't clip your seam, it's fine if this is going all the way into there because you can just include it into the side seam. All right. I'm just going to do one side seam. I can do one inseam too. It's interesting, you know, even a really drapey fabric can get bulky pretty quick. And linen would definitely fall into that category since I don't think of linen as a very, you know, thin fiber. So, oh, that's really cool, Shim. I would love that. I think one thing, I would really love to know how to clean out the dryer, like really thoroughly clean it. I called a place once. This is one thing I'm like, if I ever got a sponsorship, this is what I would want. I would want a sponsorship from a washing machine and dryer company that is 100% focused on the care of the clothing that goes into it. Because I don't think a lot of the marketing when you see washers and dryers, it's not geared towards the care of your clothing. It's geared towards cleaning it and drying it. But there are other things to think about, you know. Hi, Adina. Welcome. You know what I mean? So I ran across this gal who does a lot of washing machine and dryer repair. Like that's what she does. And I need to just look through her page more because I am very interested in some of the things that she says because I want to know, you know, what can I do? Because when I called the company, the local place, I was like, hey, I was wondering if you can I schedule someone to come out and like just do some maintenance on our machine? And they're like, oh, is it broken? I said, no, I just want to do like some maintenance, you know, like beyond what I can do. I want you to like clean it out. A lot of fires are started by the fluff in your dryer, like the buildup of the fluff, like the lint. It's very common and way more common than people realize too. And we live in such a dry, hot climate. I'm like, you know, maybe that would be a good thing. I can see it in there and I cannot reach it. I've tried all kinds of things. And the same with the washing machine. The gasket, like you can replace the whole gasket around a front loading machine. But ours is really hard. Our last one, I could take it off and get that wire off and all that. But I would really like someone to do that. And when I called, they were like, we don't do that. I was like, what do you mean we don't do that? Like you don't clean, you don't do maintenance? Nope, you can get a new machine or not. I was like, wow. If you're selling me a machine that you're telling me is going to last for X number of years and there's no maintenance involved to keep it going, it makes me think that it could go longer. Yes, it is crazy. It is crazy, Shim. I know. And it's hugely dangerous. Like, so I've stopped putting the dryer on when I go to bed. You know, because like I'll notice something, I'm like, oh, these didn't get completely dry. Well, I'll just toss them in the dryer, like as I'm going to bed. And then I get kind of paranoid. Yeah, that's a good idea, Elena. Oh, that is so cool. I bet there was a lot in there, right, Barbara? Oh, the other thing is ours are stacking. So just popping that faceplate off isn't really an option. You know, like there's, it'll be a little harder than that. Because I clean out the water in the trap. If you guys don't know about this, at least this one thing, if you take this away from me today, is the inside of your washing machine, underneath your machine, washing machine, there's usually this like trap of stuff. Some of them are really hard to get in there and clean out. and some aren't. This current one's really easy. Our old one was really hard. In fact, it took us like 2 hours to do it. And oh, this is falling off here because of the push, the pocket opening right here is pushing against my presser foot. So I'm just putting it back on there. But we found things like whole dollar bills in there and, you know, things that aren't going to break down, pieces of plastic, things that were in pockets. And it's disgusting. Like, it smells very sulfury, especially where we live because we live in such a high mineral area. But our washing machine wasn't draining. So if your washing machine is having trouble draining, you just look in your manual or Google your machine and figure out how to clean out that little thing, that water trap. Like, we found whole tampons in there. Like, you know, my daughter would put them in her pocket or something. And that right there can really gunk up your machine. So. And once we did that and we cleaned we had to pop off that whole gasket. It's got this ring holding it on there. We had to pop that whole thing off because ours was really involved. And most of them aren't as involved, but ours was really involved. And while we did that, we cleaned it all out and everything. And then it was like a new washing machine. Yeah, I was having such a down on modern society day the other day on my day off because I was just like, I'm just so sick of everything being computerized and the ability to not maintain things. And it sounds like such an old curmudgeon thing to say, but you know what? You guys have always been like this. So yeah. If it's on there, don't open the door under any long story, but it gave the fire oxygen. Oh, okay. Good. Thanks, Jim. That's a good thing. I know. It's all like, it's just like planned obsolescence. That's exactly it. Every 3 years? No. That's insane. Oh, yeah. Those are really cool, Elena. Yeah. I'm going to top stitch my side seam down to the bottom of my pocket. I actually might do the whole out seam. I should have done that before I, you know, serged the whole thing. Serge the inseam. So if you want to do this, do it before you serge your inseam. But I'll just go down right here to the bottom of my pockets right here. You can see it right there. See? All right. This is probably where I'll stop today. It looks nice though. And then I'll fix my other pocket bottom there, and then we'll do the other side seam and inseam. Saturday, we'll do the rise with the fake fly and the waistband. So, oh, that's exciting, Adina. Yeah, recycling is not very, yeah. You have a sweet, it's your wife's baby. That's hilarious. If the fire department comes, they will not just spray the fire, they spray everything. Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. That's one of the reasons I want to replace the gasket is that the black mold in there. It won't work if the Wi-Fi goes out. Oh my gosh. Yeah. This is what I worry about my car. Like I have a Honda truck. I have a Ridgeline. I don't have a really gigantic truck. It's the smallest truck I can find, basically. And it has a whole computer screen, and I hate it. It's clunky, it's slow, and it doesn't do very much. This model doesn't even have navigation. It would have been like extra. So all it's telling me is like the radio or settings. That's it. And it's just so, I feel like that's the thing that'll die, and I won't be able to use something on my car because of it, you know? So, oh yeah, dishwashers are another thing. Like my mom is like, she's got a, you know, a new to her dishwasher, and she's like, I don't understand parts of it. She's like, why am I supposed to put dishes in here with food on it? There's no way I'm doing that. And I said, well, some of them have a garbage disposal or a trap, and you can clean it out. She goes, I don't want to clean out a trap. And I'm like, yeah, but things are going to get stuck in there. You just don't realize, like, maybe there's a label on a dish that didn't get cleaned off when you bought a new dish or something. It'll get stuck in there. And that's good. Just it gets stuck there and doesn't go past that point. And so she'd been trying to figure that out, and she was really bummed that, like, it got that sophisticated, you know. Watching that won't work that way. Why does it need to be on the internet? Yeah. My neighbor's kids argue with Alexa, and it makes her upset. Oh, that's interesting, Sydney. Ours says it has some sort of programming feature like that, and you have to go online to do it. You guys, when I'm doing laundry, I don't have my glasses on, right? I can't read anything on the darn front of the washing machine. I don't even have that bad of eyesight. Well, I don't think it's that bad. That's what they say, it's not that bad. I'm like, well, if mine's not that bad, what are people doing that are really struggling? Because I can't read any of this. I had to memorize where the on button was and the other button so I can use it without my glasses. You shouldn't have to have a monocle or a magnifying glass to use your washing machine or your dryer. There's so much information on there. You go to the laundromat and it's those really simple ones, and it's like hot, warm, or cold. Permanent press. Those are your options, and it's a dial. That's what I want. Yeah, exactly. It's good to do that. Now that dishwashers have, if your dishwasher has a filter, you should absolutely clean it. It'll get disgusting. You go on vacation and you leave your dishwasher there, it'll have grown legs. Yeah, exactly, Shin. Yeah. Oh. You're at home. It's 99 outside. And Thermos thinks I'm not home. Why are you turning off the AC? Oh, yeah. Yeah, your thermostat's smarter than, well, it's not that smart, right? Yeah. Oh, man, listen to all of us old curmudgeons. We just want the good old days. Don't you think, though, that eventually it will swing back that way a little bit? So when I lived in Humboldt, there was this refrigerator manufacturer. I think they're named Sunfrost. And this was a long time ago that I learned about Sunfrost. So Sunfrost makes these refrigerators that can operate in really extreme situations on very little to no or intermittent electricity. And I just think, like, why isn't the world going that way? And they've been around for a long time. They're really great in situations like in countries where they're doing medical relief or something, or they need to keep medicine there. But if they also sell to people who are interested in living off the grid or something. Oh yeah, your car's in there. There are arguments for and against front-loading washing machines. I don't think Speed Queens aren't they top-loading? Oh, you think it's gonna get more creepy? When, so in California, we have, it was PG&E. PG&E is our electric and gas company in Northern California. And they came out with something, I'm sure all you have these, but when they came out with smart meters, and so the meter on your meter at home was connected to the internet, it was a really big deal in our little town. Like, people were like, no, I want to opt out from this. I do not want something at my house connected to the internet to you, and they wouldn't allow it. It was really interesting. And of course PG&E won, so. Yeah, Speed Queens are top loading. Yeah, there's, I think I can't remember if it's Speed Queen or not. Yeah, exactly, Adina. I know that's my mom too. She has that issue. It's the water usage that I have to look at. 25 front loader, that, yeah. So do you guys use those little, we call them scent beads. I don't know what they're called. The little tiny little beads you can put in your laundry to scent it. My daughter loves these things. I only use it on my workout clothes and the dog stuff though. I don't use it on everything. Do you guys think that that's bad for the washing machine? Because I do. I think now I'm noticing like this kind of gunge, you know, kind of goo. It's like thick sludge. And I don't know if it's that stuff, because I'm sure they would say no, but I feel like it is, you know. Top loaders are extremely unusual. Yeah, they're not common here either, Mullen. Speed Queen's kind of unique that way, and they're more like, they have a cult following though. Like people are really into them. I know yarn dyers like them. Yeah, oh yeah, totally, Barbara, they did. They don't have to have someone go out and read your meter. They do cause buildup. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. See, and I think like, I don't know what the previous people used. The idea that you're using a washing machine someone else used, that was already bugging my daughter, so. Oh man, we're such weirdos, but yeah. Yeah, exactly. They're made, yeah, and they're American made, which is pretty cool. Look at me reading chat without glasses on. I'm not a curmudgeon. I'm a whippersnapper. Yeah, they don't break down. Exactly. Vinegars harden washers too. Oh. Well, I'm just saying, I think that the washing machine and the dryer are going to get taken apart this summer, and I can't guarantee they're going to get back together. So, but I'm kind of over it. You know, the dryer has buildup in there. I can see it. But the thing is, like the saga with our refrigerator, because it stopped making ice like shortly after we moved in with one of those planned power outages. That's okay. We're kind of done. We're just chatting. Mix cement. They're really good for laundromats. I think Speed Queen does a lot of laundromats. Yeah. Yeah. So so we got an ice maker. We got a standalone ice maker. It's really cool. Highly recommend if you really need a lot of ice and your fridge just can't keep up if you have one of those, or you're sick of filling trays. But here's the deal. It's so warm where we live that since it's sitting on the counter, when it makes the ice, because it's not a refrigerated device. I don't think it's refrigerated. That's what Michael said, it's not refrigerated. I couldn't believe it wasn't, but it's not refrigerated even though it's making ice right there. So it's making ice down here, it comes up and then drops the ice in a basket above. And immediately your ice is sweating, so then they start sticking to each other. And so you have this whole other thing that you have to maintain with the ice. And so we realized we were spending just as much time making ice with the ice maker as we were filling trays and breaking them and dumping them in the thing, because we had this whole thing where Michael was making a bunch of ice, putting it in a bag, laying it flat in the freezer to freeze, then breaking the bag of ice to break up again, and then putting it in the bin of ice. So, oh, I can find out for you, Shem. It made bullet size. Here's the other thing. I'm going to tell you my full review on ice makers and the thing you have to think about. Oh, Rusty. Are you thinking of Dan the Scissor Man? He used to sharpen my scissors. So here's the other thing to think about, Shem. It also makes little bullet-shaped ice cubes. And here's the deal with those. They melt so much faster than a traditional ice cube. You need more ice. So if you're not going to get the ice maker where you can actually store the ice in there, then I say I would skip it. I would just stick to whatever crazy situation you got going on. You have the Opal 2.0. Yeah, I'll have to check and see what we got. Elena has the cool, like, hot water maker and the ice maker. You like your temperature stuff. So yeah, I finally looked at Michael and I was like, babe, I think we're spending... Oh yeah, so I think she's got the nicer one, Shem. So I would get a review from Elena because that would be the one that would have been above ours. We just decided we didn't want to spend $500 on an ice maker or $350 or something what it was. We just were like, And so I knew as soon as we got an ice maker, our fridge would start breaking and we'd have to get a new fridge, which then we wouldn't need an ice maker because if we had a new fridge, we'd have ice, right? And that is exactly what happened. All of a sudden, in the bottom of our fridge, there's all this water. And I didn't know it was there, and it was frozen. So it was like a frozen pond underneath the fridge, which sits on top of the freezer. And I couldn't open the cheese drawer. So I was like, babe, I think we need to get rid of this. Yeah, it takes up counter space. I was thinking we would put it in our pantry. Oh, your fridge water line doesn't work. Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, if you're super picky on the shape of ice, that's another thing to consider. The bullet size is great because it cools your drink down like that. Same with what Elena has. The nugget ice is awesome. That would be my favorite. It's not hollow, no. Yeah, exactly. The drain is blocked. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I bet you can fix the water line. We had to fix ours. It wasn't easy, but we did. On an old house, so. Yeah, like the nugget ice is so good. It's like perfect. It cools things down really fast. Great for cocktails, iced coffee. The bullet ice was great, but we were using so much. And I was like, we're making more ice because it melts faster. We're having to refreeze the ice, break up the ice. We had this like three-step thing. It was so dumb. Anyway, I know we're not sewing anymore, but oh yeah, YouTube to the rescue. That's what I realized. I hadn't looked up YouTube videos on wearing contacts. I probably need to do that, like putting them in. I want some tips because the trials they gave me, they're like, this isn't the brand we usually use. And I'm like, thank goodness, these are hard. The last ones weren't. I'm looking for tips though. All right, well, I'm going to call it there. And Saturday, I'll be finishing these up. So hopefully I'll also be a little smoother in my sewing. But look at the thread. It's that light gray. It's blending in so nicely. They're not done. What are you talking about? Where have you been? No, I just have one whole front pant. I'm going to fix this pocket, just sew it the right way I like. And then, yeah, we have the rise and the back waist. Very fast. I just took forever today. Sorry, Christina, wardrobe by me. I think you don't mind, though, because I think she really likes the live stream vibe. All right, so Saturday I'll be here, 11 a.m. Pacific. I am done today. Yeah, Shem. That's why I've just been sitting here. I need to take this out right here. And just flip it over, and I just thought I didn't want to bore you guys with that. That's all. And then we'll have another pant leg, because here's our back and our front. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not going to do the French seam. Kind of a bummer. All right. Well, thanks for coming, you guys. Really appreciate it. Nice seeing you all. And I have come out with, it was just one new video. Well, it was 2 parts on making the half pant form, that leg you see, this this right here. If you're interested, you haven't had enough of me, so. This group course so easily, yeah, right. All right, you guys, I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great rest of your week. See you Saturday. Stay cool wherever you are, or warm if you're somewhere cool. Talk to you later. Bye.